So, dear friends, I brought all my play toys today with me, or at least some of them. Along with the memories that I bring, there are some of you here today that I've already greeted who were here when I was on staff 1982 to 1989. So you do not need me to preach to you today. Today is a testimony time. It's a time for me to share with you some things that I remember, and I'm going to encourage you along with me to remember. You will not remember me, many of you. I'm just meeting you now for the first time, and I'm grateful for that. Because one of the things that you're doing in this 150th anniversary and going forward is not only to celebrate and to give thanks for your heritage, but to lift up your culture as a congregation, your identity, your purpose. Who are you? Who will you be going forward? And how has what you've inherited, whether you know it or not, influenced who you are now and will be in future years? The legacy of those who've gone before you, many of whom were hardworking farmers, the Harmeyers, the Hansons, the Heineys, and many, many other family names I could name. And maybe you can't relate to any of those people, but it's their faith and their hard work which helped Trinity be the congregation of the church that it is for every generation, every iteration, every building campaign, every program. And so I want you with me, with that scripture you've heard, I thank my God in all my remembrance of you. And giving thanks for people you may not have known, but who were so instrumental in who you are today. I take this verse very personally, and I want you to now, in just these next few moments, to take it personally. I want you to remember who has been influential in your life, who has guided you, helped to shape you, who has been your mentor, who has helped you to become who you are. Might be parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, might be a friend, might be an educator, a teacher. My wife Linda was an educator in Harford County, 31 years, Joppatown Elementary School. Maybe she taught some of you, I don't know. But remember and give thanks for, I thank my God, you thank God for the people who've helped you become who you are. And maybe the people who kept you from going astray or pulled you back from the brink. I've had many of them who have pulled me back from the brink. I'm going to share a story I did not at the early church, but in the old balcony. I came to work at the time. I was minister of youth and education, and I was not feeling well. I should have stayed home. I went up into the balcony and fell asleep for 3 or 4 hours. The church staff is panicking, looking for me everywhere. There's an old song, the deacon went down in the cellar to pray. He fell asleep and stayed all day. Do any of you know that old song? I'm up in the balcony falling asleep, and I guarantee you I'm not praying, I'm asleep. I go home with a bad case of the flu. I was sick for 10 days. I thought I would never recover and get well. 105 fever, 105, I was very, very sick. But I became healed, and I came back to do my work and to torment people. So that's my job. Jesus once said, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. So whether I'm meeting you today for the first time, you are my friend. I am your friend, and old friends as well. So in my remembrance, my testimony is to throw back at you something of your culture. Again, these are going to be some words from people that many of you do not know, but they're going to be important words to hear today. It was in June of 1989 that our family left. I was ordained as a pastor 4 months later. But knowing that was true, again, I brought my play toys. It is the gifts of this congregation that decided to dress me up. This is called a Geneva-style robe. It's what Presbyterian ordained pastors wear, typically black or blue. I wanted white because of you, because of wearing an alb and the cincture and the cross. I wanted white. So I've always stood out. I've always been different. But it was your gift. I blame you for it. The women, Welka, the ladies of Welka, wrote this poem. Dear Jim, we have a gift for you, but alas, it is not here. The order now is in the mail, so you know it is quite near. When we were told it would not arrive, we prayed. Isn't that what good Lutherans do? When you don't get what you want or need, you start praying. We prayed, we raved, we cried. But we filled this box with all of our love. And the box is a huge album of written congratulations and memories. I will share only a few unless you want to be here for 2 or 3 hours. I can arrange that. It's all in here. I can dump all this back on you. A box filled with memories and with our love. And for you to know, dear Jim, we tried. A stole so white to be given this night will be delivered next week. But please accept our gift of love and our prayers for the things that you seek. I thank my God for you. And I have worn this robe my entire last 34 years in this stole. I'm very grateful for that. Listen to these words from somebody that you know once I tell you who it is. We'd like to thank you so very much for your thoughtfulness, for your prayers, for your concerns, that you interrupted what you were doing, but you did something very important for us because my husband was ill. You came for a visit in the hospital, and we had prayer together. Then you held my hand, and then you walked me to the elevator and gave me a huge hug that was so desperately needed in that moment. You stayed so many times to help clean up after affairs at the church. Does the pastoral staff do that now? Sorry, I'm putting them on the spot. When you're raised a country boy in Virginia, you just stay to the bitter end. That's the way it goes. These are just a few of the memories that we will always cherish and remember. What a pleasure and honor to have had you with us here at Trinity. If you're ever in the neighborhood again, please drop in. May the Lord bless and keep you. Love, Dick and Jean Brown. And I'm back in Joppatown on the home we had where I started marriage and family life, 104 Chell Road, and Jean Brown is around the corner. She looks out for me. She needs to. This is someone who was at the early service. I'll tell you later who it is. You've always had a kind word for everyone. No matter how busy you were, you always stopped to ask how we were doing. We will miss you and Linda and the children, but we wish you much success wherever you go. Lois Trump. Do any of you know Lois? She comes to the early service. I want to flip just a few more. May God continue to bless you. All I got was well wishes. You always found time for us. Even when you were busy, you looked like you weren't busy. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's called acting. Okay? There are just so many others. But I do want to flip to the back of the book, and I will have this at the back. So if any of you want to look through it. There are many, many memories from children of this school, the daycare center and the school. You worked hard when you were here, and we watched you. We watched you grow. You shirked nothing, and you gave freely. You were a very important part of Trinity. You will always have many friends here. You're here today. I remember your visit to our home and how you tackled the Bible quiz on my computer. And thank goodness I passed with flying colors. Boy. What I want to say to you as a part of your heritage is that you have mentored and helped to train and guide many pastors. From the generations of the Austin family, from Pastor Edward, and he walked around here when I was here. He would come into the office almost every day. And Pastor John took me under his wings. And I was a full seminary graduate. I had all my training, but that's never enough. We're always learning, we're always growing, and I learned a lot here. This is what I learned here. Take care of everyone who walks through your doors. This is a parish. A parish meaning an area. Your ministry is this area. It's not just those of you who are the members and the participants, and you are doing that well. And I took that concept, that mantra with me to Pennsylvania, and I served the community. We handed out money to people who broke down on 95. We sent them up to Buddy's Automotive in Abingdon for repair work. One man came in here one day. Again, I'm sharing some things I did not at early service. So if you want to get the whole shebang, you have to listen to both. He came in, he was so hungry, famished. I have never seen anyone shovel in food as quickly and as much as he did. He was desperately in need of energy and restoration and healing and compassion. And you all offered that to him. So this is your legacy, to keep it up. I also learned something very important from Pastor John is about time management. He said, pastors rarely, it's hard to get a day off the whole day. Many interruptions, weddings, funerals, emergencies. How many days in a week? Tell me, talk back to me, how many days in a week? 7. Divide each day into 3 segments. 3 times 7 is? Take at least 3 segments during the week as your own. They do not have to be in sequence. Just take that much time, and then the rest of the time, do God's work. That's the time management I learned here and have taken with me. And as complex as the world is now and working in a 24/7 culture, I bet you're learning to do that too. So one of the things that you're celebrating this year is the gifts of the people. G, generosity. I, to be invitational and inclusive. Keep being the welcoming people that you are. And share the gifts that you are and the gifts that you have. GIF, foundational. What is foundational? Learning, worship, diving deep into a word that's a living word and still speaking to us, still speaking to me. Presbyterian pastors, we are supposed to take 2 weeks of study leave every year. I've been in ministry now 44. I've taken my study leave, and I'm still learning. Conferences, workshops, you name it. S stands for service. You were great at that, your outreach. Your personal outreach to me has been helping me to become the pastor that I have become. And when I finish serving as a full-time interim in Lancaster County, I'm likely to show up here for worship because I'm ready to take another sabbatical before I retire. I will retire one day, daughter, and Kevin. Emily, my daughter, Emily, and Kevin are here with me today. I thank my God in all my remembrance of you, always in every prayer. Dear friends, your life has a story. I have shared with you today part of my story, and your part in it. You've played a significant part in my life and in my story. It is here where I met my wife, Linda, and the Lance family, and have been privileged to become a part of this long line of foundational leaders in this church. And the colleagues that I've had here in ministry, and now I have you as friends. So I thank my God in all my remembrance of you. Amen.